Valentine's Day on the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. The question of today's show, a little hacky in nature, cut us some slack. There's no more football. What do you love most about Houston sports? You know who I love? I love my mom. My mom sent me a really nice Mother's Day. I guess it's Valentine's Day, but like a motherly message of encouragement today to me. You know what she sent? She said, "Good morning and happy Valentine's Day to a very special man in my life. My mommy loves me. Am I a mama's boy? 100%, Sean." Not ashamed of it.
Wow. And now I'm forced to realize that my mom has not texted me.
She hasn't sent you a Valentine's Day message?
In fairness, I also have not sent her a Valentine's Day message.
That's true, too.
I guess that, it's a two-way street, maybe.
Got to be a two-way street. Have anyone...
I'll give her until 1:30, and then...
Okay, 1:30, and then... But I think you should. I think you should.
The ball will be in my court.
I think you should. You know what? I think you'll get some brownie points for it. I think you'll get some brownie points. Has anyone at the station texted you Happy Valentine's Day?
No.
No one at the station has texted me Happy Valentine's Day either. Kind of makes me a little bit sad.
I was about to get my feelings hurt if someone texted you. If that's the way you brought up that someone
there's still 56 minutes for both of us here at the station. It is a little disappointing that, unlike in grade school, we have yet to receive Valentines from our teammates who we thought cared about us deeply, but nothing. But hey,
do they still make the cards where it's like
yes,
no, but where it's like NFL players, like whatever?
I've seen a couple of them.
Okay, good. I'm glad we haven't strayed too far from.
It used to just be about the cards. It really, in the 1800s, it was about the cards. At some point during the 20th century, I'm sure Big Diamond, which was like, man, we've got a lot of slaves, but we got a lot of diamonds to pawn off. Oh, man, let's somehow foist our way into the Valentine's Day industry and force poor saps to buy expensive jewelry for no effing reason for their significant others. We got a lot of diamonds to offload. Who cares about little Reggie who died in the mine shaft this morning? Okay, we got to get rid of these diamonds. Let's get into big Valentine's Day business. But anyway, guys, I mentioned my mother because we talk about the love between a son and a mother on Valentine's Day. Not like that. Stop. This isn't Game of Thrones. I'm not sure this person loves his mother because of how public this has become. So the last couple of days, there have been some developments in the guardianship of the mother of Texans, technically owner, Cal McNair. Janice McNair, who is technically the owner of the Houston Texans, being the wife of the late Bob McNair. But Cal has been running the Texans along with Hannah. Gotta say, last calendar year, they have done a fantastic job in a lot of different ways. And not just talking about hiring the right people. I feel like they have actually put their ear to the ground and have listened to fans for the first time in a really long time. They deserve credit for it. You can't just dump on somebody forever and ever, especially when all of a sudden they go above and beyond to try and make things better. I do think they truly deserve a lot of credit. I think at times some of us, even at this station, have been a little unfair with them. Paul, you sound like a bubble that still works for Texas radio. Fine, I don't care. Okay? This is one of the most powerful families in Houston. There's another brother in this family. His name is Kerry McNair. And there was a guardianship hearing on Monday for Janice McNair. And over the last couple of days, Kerry McNair, the brother of Cal McNair, has been trying to get an independent medical exam performed on his mother to determine whether or not she needs Carrie to come and be her guardian. And from what I understand, Janice lives next door to Cal. So it seems like things would be okay. I don't know the fine details of this family seemingly feud right now. But with the way that it seems Janice McNair is digging her heels in because she does not want to be part of a guardianship, and with some of the accusatory comments that have been put out there as well, I believe, by Cal McNair's team about Kerry. Doesn't seem like Kerry loves his mother. Just a thought. Could I be sued for that? I don't know. I don't know how this works. All I'm saying is if something like this gets dragged out into the public, are you really looking out for your family? Are you? Just a thought. Just a thought. But guys, give Cal McNair credit for this too. The guy spends money. Gave Bobby Slowick more money this offseason to keep him around. Gave Gerard Johnson more money this offseason to keep him around. Offensive coordinator and quarterback coach are going to be working with C.J. Stroud for a second season. And on top of that, okay, he's willing to spend on coaches. Maybe he'll be willing to spend in free agency. It's time for another episode of Texans Free Agency Watch. Hell yeah. Swarm! Okay. It sounds like T. Higgins, who we had as a splurge kind of purchase, you know, like the unnecessary Valentine's Day gift that you bought for your significant other today. No offense. You know it's worthless. I know it's worthless. It's fine. Still show her the love tonight. But we both know it's dumb. Spending on a wide receiver also might be dumb. T. Higgins, Bengals wide receiver, looks like he's actually going to be staying in Cincinnati. The reports are that the Bengals are expected to give him the franchise tag. Gotta say, a little bit surprising. I did not think that the Bengals would be into giving somebody a one-year contract that would be worth around $20 million or so, because the Bengals are notoriously cheap, and they already have Jamar Chase on the roster. In years past, this is probably a guy that they would let walk. Maybe the Bengals are a different organization with Joe Burrow as the starting quarterback of the team. But it looks, Sean, like T. Higgins is no longer a possibility for the Houston Texans in free agency. If they sign him to the franchise tag, it would be a massive amount of compensation that would be involved. 2 first-round picks, I believe, to trade for Higgins. And on top of that, then you'd have to give him a contract extension.
Yeah.
He's not worth that.
It effectively takes him off the market for the Texans if the Bengals go through with it. I guess this is kind of like a bridge deal, or not a bridge thing, but like this is the last year that they can realistically have both Higgins and Chase on the roster before Chase gets his deal.
Yes.
So that might be what they're thinking is like, hey, we'll bite the bullet this 1 year paying Higgins this, and then we'll let him walk, and then we'll give Chase his money.
I think you have to, too, because Burrow got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, legitimately, they have a chance to win the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah.
So it would be. I know the Bengals don't actually care about this, but like you kind of have to do it if you're going to be a competitive owner. Again,
I agree.
For the first time in history, the Bengals are interested in being competitive,
which is awesome. Good for Cincinnati's fans. Seriously, they're a cheapskate organization, but hey, maybe things are changing forever. Doubtful, though. It's just going to be as long as Joe Burrow's there. But hey, enjoy those times as long as you can. Hopefully it does not have a Carson Palmer kind of ending. Brandon Aiyuk is not a free agent this offseason. He's under contract for $14 million this season. But after the 49ers Super Bowl loss, either his brother or his best friend, if not both, took to Instagram and commented this. This is the exact reason why we leaving San Francisco. Oh, he's one of those. He's a mooch. He's Turtle from Entourage. Thank you, 49ers, for drafting my brother. We are forever grateful. BA to Vegas. He wants to go. You want to go to the Raiders? You want to go to Aiden O'Connell? Why does your all-pro 1,300-yard receiver have 3 catches in the Super Bowl? He also put on his Instagram story. So I don't know if this is like with the Dallas Cowboys. You got a yappy person who's a little bit too close to the whole situation and thinks that they actually have influence or something like that. But maybe Brandon Aiyuk is not happy in San Francisco. Here's the thing. You got to trade a lot for Brandon Aiyuk as well. So that's another guy that I know some people are thinking to themselves, Texans? Nah. Brandon Aiyuk would be intriguing if he was a free agent because of the San Francisco ties, because of the Kyle Shanahan offense, because Bobby Slowick's running the same thing here, because of his ability after the catch, because of his ability to get open. But, yeah, you're not trading for Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah, he seems like, I mean, you call, see what the Niners, if it gets to that, call, see what the Niners are asking for him. But I would be a thumbs up on him, but I don't expect it to happen.
Yeah.
Is kind of the situation. He would be awesome though on the Texans because he really does. He is kind of like a different receiver than Nico Collins, a different receiver than Tank Dell, and I kind of like having like that kind of variety with your wide receiver. You don't want all like tall guys or all tiny guys that are fast. Like you need some different type of bodies out there. I think Aiyuk, especially with what he does after the catch, would be awesome.
He's right in the middle between what you have in Collins and Tank Dell.
Exactly, but he's almost too perfect in that he's probably not going to be available.
Right, he's too expensive. And the 49ers would be crazy to get rid of him too.
Perfect.
Right, at least yet.
The Niners will have to make some tough decisions with who they keep and who they don't.
I think he's one of those ones where you extend him, and that probably saves you some money in the short term that you can play with now. Because $14 million for this year, likely. I'm guessing that's the last year of his contract or something like that.
I think he's a 2020 draft.
So so if that's the case, then I think that's something to just keep in mind going forward if you're San Francisco. Dalton Schultz told the Texans flagship that he wants to stay in Houston. Of course he does. CJ Stroud's the quarterback. I think that Dalton Schultz is not a priority. I think you look to see what other options you have at tight end in free agency. But if you don't think you can do better, you bring him back, which probably means a little bit of a raise. I would say the same kind of contract that you gave him last offseason is what I'd be looking for, but probably won't be something he'd accept. It'll probably be a contract that's 2 years instead of 1 year for Dalton Schultz, but he wants to stay. Meanwhile, Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs, the Texans have the second best odds to sign either of those two running backs. We've discussed this before. I like both of those players, but both are going to be contracts that are short-term in nature wherever they end up going. And that's not going to give you a lot of flexibility this offseason, which is a tricky one because it's not just the guys that you have to bring back. You also got to figure out, okay, what are we doing with Nico Collins, who is going into his fourth season? Collins is probably at the point in his career where he can ask for an extension. Will you give it to him? It would perhaps free up a little bit of space in the immediate future. Not that much, though. So these are things that you got to keep in mind. I don't see a short-term deal for either of those running backs happening. So there you go. Paul Galancho, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. We have a text on the most interactive sports talk show in Houston on this Valentine's Day. From the 409, happy Valentine's Day, Paul. Here's a lovely lawsuit. With love, Carrie McNair. Damn. It's a good way to send somebody a lawsuit, though. I suppose that somebody is probably going to get, is it subpoenaed? Served, yes, that's it. Someone is going to get served today, and it's going to be masqueraded as some sort of Valentine's Day gift.
It's a giant bouquet, and then there's a note, and it's actually they kind of pull the flowers apart to get the note, and it's like a classic G-Man with with aviators on and a manila envelope being like, you just got served.
I hope that the guy smells like weed, like he's Seth Rogen in Pineapple Express.
Whoa.
Whoa, sorry, man. Sorry for ruining your Valentine's Day.
Thanks, Lucy, for the flowers.
But these Cadbury creams are really good. That's Easter, right? It's Easter?
That is Easter.
Oh, this chocolate, this Stouffer's chocolate. These Sherry's berries.
Life is like a box of chocolate.
These me undies, edible undies. Hey,